Hey, it's Brett again, and just before I get all your goodies to you, I did promise a little introduction into sourcing property at auction, and I put together a quick presentation for you. It'll only take a few minutes, so just bear with me. And at the end, I've got a special bonus surprise surprise for you. So, look, you probably concluded that if you could only find the right properties, source the right properties, simply and easily, life would be so much easier. As a property investor, you're probably going to end up spending a disproportionate amount of your time looking for the right types of property. Now, what makes auctions such a interesting source of properties is that, well, there's a whole host of reasons, and I'm going to go on to those in a little bit. But can you imagine if you could consistently find the right type of properties for you? That would make your life so much easier, wouldn't it? Yeah? All right, fantastic. Let's have a quick look at this presentation I put together for you. What about sourcing properties at auction, the upside, the downside. I've also thrown in a case study, and then, as I promised, there's a special bonus opportunity for you as well at the end. So bear with me a couple of minutes here. Okay, so as I said, sourcing property at auction is one of the very best ways for finding the right types of property. And if you do it properly, buying through auction can be a fantastic way to regularly source properties. But if you do it wrong, the implications can be quite disastrous, and you really don't, trust me, want to take the risk. All right, so let's have a quick look at why why auctions are so damn cool. Well, first of all, there's lots of properties, and this is really important because to grow your portfolio, you're going to need to be able to feed a lot of properties into your system. You've got a regular supply of properties as well. So what this means is it's great because it helps you with your planning and your cash flow. There's lots of information provided with properties at auction. So the auctioneers do a lot of the legwork for you. And that makes it much easier to do the due diligence. And of course, we all know that properties are heavily discounted at auction. You know, if you're going to auction, you typically need to be prepared to accept at least a 25%, if not a 30% discount on what the perceived open market value of the property is. Now, that's not always the case, and you have to be quite careful about how you establish the open market value of a property. But I'll talk you through how you can get your hands on a program which I put together, which explains exactly how that happens, how you can do that later on. And because they're heavily discounted, that means you've got excellent margins, which is just fantastic when it comes to attracting the right types of buyers. This is where we talk about multiple exit strategies. If you don't know what I mean by that, what I mean basically is whenever you've got a property, you always want to try and sell it to multiple buyers, different types of buyers. So it might be first-time buyers, it might be investors, it might be tenant buyers, it could be a refinance job, putting tenants in. You always want to have multiple exit strategies. So that's something, it's one of my advanced strategies, but I talk about it in the bootcamp. So if you've snagged yourself a copy of the bootcamp, then great. Otherwise, you can do so once once you've picked up your freebies and other bits and pieces. You can also use what I call done-for-you bundles, and this is where you get your buyers already lined up, and then they tell you what they want you to do in the property, and then they pay you to do it, and it's a fantastic way to increase the return that you get from auctions. But again, you can only do it really with auction properties. And then, you know, the certainty of the deal is also really, really important. One of the biggest frustrations many investors find is when they're dealing with homeowners is that often a chain will break down and you end up having to spend all that time, effort, and money doing your due diligence, doing all your preparatory work, and then the deal falls through. With auctions, assuming that you get it at the right price, it's yours, and you can move quick on the deal. All right, but with auctions, it's not all about the upside. There's also a downside, and I really need to explain to you why some of the downsides that you're aware of them, I suppose. So first of all, there's loads of newbies coming into the market, which is pushing the price up of auctions. Now, that can be a bad thing, but also they don't know what they're doing. So there's still deals to be found at auction, and it's just a case of you having to, follow your due diligence. You must have some money to invest if you're going to be buying property at auction. But I have put together a program which explains, and I'll show you how in the program you can invest or buy properties at auction without having any of your own money to put into it. There's lots of moving parts. So again, without some support, the potential for cocking things up is quite high. But again, that applies to everyone. So a lot of the newbies, they get burnt first time, they don't come back again. So whilst there are lots of moving parts, it works for everyone. Okay, and in the program I put together for you, I explain how all these moving parts fit together and take you through how you can assess what you need to do and where you are, etc., etc. Because there's lots of moving parts, it can make it easy to make mistakes, but again, just keep your eyes open, you'll be fine. They can seem complicated, and this can result in information overload, but with the right structure and the right systems and processes, buying property at auction is a process, it's a system, and with the right system in place, you can avoid all these problems. So let's have a quick look at a quick case study of a deal I did. This is Trevor, and I helped him source property through auction, and we ended up doing something called a first-time buyer flip, and this is what it looked like. Okay, so first of all, we sourced the property through auction, and we did sort of all the number crunching and all that sort of stuff. The open market value was 175 grand. We did all our due diligence and then our refurb costs and the rest of it, and we established that in order for us to make a profit out of this, the highest purchase price we could go to was 100 and I think it was 120 we agreed to in the end, in fact, but we got it for 110. The refurb cost was 20 grand, and we completed that in 6 weeks. So this is the work which we did to the property. It was a new kitchen, bathroom, and a paint throughout. We made the money available for the builders to draw down on a weekly basis, and there was also a bonus in them to them for completing the project on time. Started marketing the property immediately that he got the keys, so we marketed that for first-time buyer, investor, and tenant buyer as well. And in the end, what happened was we got a first-time buyer decided to come along. I provided them a loan to complete the deal and pay for the deposit. So for the first-time buyer, it was a no money down deal, basically, which is pretty cool. The sale price was 157,500. Remember, the purchase price was 110. The deal fees were 2.5 grand, so that was auctions and mortgages, not mortgages, brokers and all that sort of stuff. The refurb cost was 20 grand. I mentioned that I used an investor's money. We used investors' money to buy it, so we paid the investor 5.5 grand. Well, they loved that. I think it was 8-week return on their capital. And they made 5.5 grand. And the total costs then for the deal were 127k. So Trevor made a cool 20 grand or 90.5 grand from this particular deal. All right. So can you imagine what that sort of profit in 8 to 12 weeks would do for you? Can you imagine yourself doing that kind of deal? Yeah? All right, great. Because what I put together here is a special deal. I'm going to introduce you to my supercharged system for buying property at auction and making a killing. You've got sample deals and analysis of those deals. I provide you with the investors pack. I provide you with the financial analysis. We've got a report here, 13 types of property to avoid when buying at auction. I explain exactly how you can refinance your deals within 8 weeks or less, and that enables you to recycle your principal. We've got the due diligence sheets that I use, and there's a ton more stuff. All right. So this whole program, it could be yours. It's an online program. So literally within a few clicks of the mouse, you could have access to it. And it's possibly the most comprehensive auction purchasing system available in the market today. So yeah, that's it really. You know, supercharged system for buying property at auction. Let's have a quick look at what's in it. What you'll discover in there, there's 13 types of property to stay away from. So even if the financials look right on this, don't go near them because you're going to end up with a lemon. I'll provide you with my on-site due diligence sheets. So basically, these are the sheets that I use or my team use when they go around to establish what the refurb is and whether or not the property is viable. To put you in the picture, often when we're buying at auction, when I'm buying at auction, I'll view 15 to 20 properties over a 2 to 3 day period. So they can all get quite confusing. So this is why you need to have the due diligence sheets. I'm going to show you how to refinance your deal within 12 weeks. And I provide you with a sample refurb pack that I've used successfully on loads and loads of occasions. And the power of being able to recycle your principal is massive. You know, you can send round 100 grand 6 or 7 times in a year, and you know, on each rotation you could be looking at taking a 10%, 15%, or 10%, 15% net return going in your back pocket. So if you sit down and work the figures out on that, it won't take very long before you've got a sizable portfolio, but B, manage to grow your principal significantly. I take you through how I go about the exact steps I go about of marketing my property. So I've got buyers knocking on my door, just begging to take it off my property, take it off my hands. I'm going to show you how to do joint ventures with investors, how you can find them, what you can do there. I'll provide you with the legal contracts I put in place when I've done my joint ventures. So all this stuff has cost me literally thousands of pounds with my solicitors. The solicitors' fees putting this stuff together, and it's yours as part of my my auction program. But that's not all. There's also a legal pack review. So I take you through exactly what your solicitors will do for you. And obviously if you're assessing, let's say, 15 properties and you get through to the legal fees stage or check the legal paperwork stage, that can save you a lot of money. All right. I'm going to take you through an EPC review. So there's Energy Performance Certificate review. It's possibly one of the most underused pieces of housing documentation out there, and it can be really insightful. I'll show you how to get a mining report done and how to read one. I'll show you how to profit by selling at auction as well. So there's this one little trick which hardly anyone knows about, and you need to know about it as someone buying at auction. But also, if you've got a property we want to shift it swiftly, then you know there's no reason why you can't sell it at auction as well. I'll show you how you can do that. I'll show you how to bundle your services for each of your target buyers so that you can put as much as 30% more profit on your deal. And there's loads more stuff as well. Now, I know that you know, some of you will still perhaps have some questions about this. So what I've done, it's made this a zero risk investment. This program comes with my 12-month, no questions asked, 100% money-back guarantee. So you can basically test drive this program to your heart's delight. Test drive it for 12 months, you know, and if you're not 130% delighted with the results, then just let me know and I'll refund you immediately. There'll be no questions asked. Okay? So you see, all the risk is on me. None of it's on you. It's all on me. Does that seem fair enough? All right. So let's get down to the brass nuts of this. You know, normally my supercharged system for buying property at auction and making a killing, it currently retails at £697. But because we're still getting to know each other, and I'm only going to make this available on this page, you can get it for the titchy investment of just £297. But as I said, it's only available on this page. If you leave without picking it up, you won't be able to get it anywhere else at this price again. All right. So really, just ask yourself, if you're truly serious about retiring through property in the next 10 years or less, you'd be mad not to grab your copy of this program right now while you can. All you have to do is press the button below. You'll be taken to my secure online payment gateway, put your details in, and I'll sort out your access immediately to my supercharged system for buying property at auction and making a killing. Okay, so do that right now. Don't miss out. Press the add to cart button now, and I'll get you sorted immediately. And remember, if you don't take advantage of the opportunity right now, then this opportunity won't present itself at this price again to you. All right. Thanks for listening. Speak soon. Bye.